stage, it means that the age of experience is arrived. Usually this is the moment where in each of the forum actually that we are going to do throughout the world every single year is the moment, the privileged moment that I have, because not only I have the possibility of trying to inspire you, or if you wanted to suggest new ideas for your own business, but as well to meet you in separate meeting and discuss more properly what is your exact case and what is your exact business model or business aspiration. So the age of experience is this age that is actually transforming everything that we do. It doesn't matter whether we are in a mechanical industry or in a chemical industry or in a mix of the two. Everything is getting changed thanks to the fact that everything that we do, it is getting transformed by this new age of experience. The way we design, the way we discover, the way that we market, the way that we fabricate. So actually, the whole point is that the age of experience is not only changing the way that we work throughout our industrial process, but it's changing the economic model. And this is the little analysis that I would like to share with you by analyzing 4 different value streams that are the most important of all if in the value chain of any of the industry that we serve. It is the design, it is for sure the scientific discovery, is it the manufacturing, and as well the marketing. Let me start from the very first one, design. I think that everyone is familiar with design being about shape, style, behaviors, formula, aesthetics of the goods that we create. But the reality is that the design is getting profoundly transformed because it is becoming the way of designing the business model. So design is no more just the fact of creating attractable, or if you say sexy type of products that could define the new type of experience that our customers are going to have, but it is the way of defining what it would be our value stream, not just because of the selling of the product, but because a new revenue stream can be created through it. I'm talking about the smart object. I'm talking about those connected objects that today are no more just a matter of giving us features and functions that can be providing a certain type of services, but the fact that they are becoming portals. They are becoming the door to a new world where an ecosystem actually, and not just us, but an ecosystem of partners and even users can actually contribute to provide stellar experiences through the object. So if you think on the example that are some renowned, some probably not very much known yet, I would like to tell you, for example, that a small company in Italy that is called the Techno Gym. It is a small company in the sense of giant in like GE that would produce a type of industrial equipment, but it is the undisputed market leader for sport equipment. Everywhere you go, any hotel, resort, sports gym, sports center, but your home, because they are into a B2B model, there is a Techno Gym sport equipment. They are smart objects. So for sure, through a Techno Gym treadmill, whatever it is called, elliptic bike or whatever, you have everything that you would adore to have, actually. So it connects to your smartphone, it's connected to your smart watch. It actually resumes the Netflix on the film that I was looking yesterday night, actually on the screen of the treadmill, so that I can keep up with the episode. So everything is possible through a connected object. But it is not the point, because this is just when an object is smart in the sense of getting features that can reconnect me with services that I already know. Where it really comes to the revolution is when Techno Gym actually repositions itself as the wellness company. And then it changes, therefore, the type of experiences that it wants to provide the ultimate customer with. And also achieve, through this repositioning being the wellness company, through a software platform, the capability of touching myself and not just the sports center. So it's passing from a B2B model to a B2C model. Because what does it happen? It happened that this software company, this software platform provided through the wellnesscompany.com, it is actually a portal for buying applications that are for sure fitness and health application. I do make my treadmill session. The data that are captured by my smartphone and in conjunction with the treadmill are sent, if you want, to the analytical center that mix all the big data with my personal data, age, weight, time of training, type of injuries that I have resigned or if you want, analyzed or provided to the company, and the pool of developers and fitness experts and doctors actually provides me with different applications to buy so that my program can be best suited for what are my needs and body, I would say, injuries in some of the cases. So you see that they have achieved, if you want, a platform business model. That is the famous business model that for sure we will have a honorable guest on stage to speak about just after me. And it is this business model where actually we are not simply creating a product, but we are switching from creating a product to creating a business experience that is coming through services where an ecosystem is participating to it and not just my company. So that is what is happening in the world. Even, I would say, product companies that have created or invented the marketing world in the last 2 centuries, Procter & Gamble has swapped, if you want, the business model from the product business model to a platform business model. It's the case of the Oral-B. It is the famous electric toothbrush, and after years and years of adding features and functions to make it the more efficient possible, at a certain point, someone at P&G took the decision of transforming the Oral-B toothbrush into a portal, and therefore adopting a platform business model. Today there is a platform that is a dental platform where I do brush my teeth with Oral-B actually. Sensors are capturing all the movements or the problems that I have and even detecting problems or in order to prevent cavities. Those data are getting analyzed. A pool of dentists and dental hygiene experts are talking to developers, if you want, who are creating a new application that over the air, on my request, and for sure with my credit card, it can, if you want, inform my toothbrush on what to do. Again, even P&G, that is in a very simple, I would say, stream of creating a product and then matching it with the need of the consumer and repeating the act of purchase and augmenting the frequency of purchase, being the B2C business model, it is parallelizing the type of business model they're using and therefore shifting their economic model from product to a platform business model. Therefore, they are into software as well. I hope that they won't decide to become real software players because otherwise I'm going to have a problem for sure. But that is the point of the platform business model. So you see, design is no more about the style and the shape of the object. It is really designing the entire business plan because the designer, when he needs to take into the act of designing, it needs to take into consideration what are not just the features and functions that my ultimate consumer or customer would like to have as an experience, but how my object can be designed to become a portal in order to deliver stellar service experience to the ultimate customer. That is the very first phenomenon. Now, the second moment where the economic model is getting disrupted is for sure into the discovery moment, and this is the science moment in every single company. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to explain you this. Actually, it is the reason why with the 3D experience platform, when we talk about connected experiences, we do not just stay at the stage of the IoT, but actually we discuss of Internet of Experiences, because the most important of all is that the platform will be capable of providing a customer not only with a modeling layer to create the smart object, designing, simulating, and manufacturing the smart object, but especially to simulate what would be the final experiences with that level of the analytical application design and therefore the big data analysis in order to personalize the type of experience that can be driven through the connected object. So going to the next phenomenon, which is the scientific discovery. Science, it is something that probably for most is boring, for some other is extremely exciting, for the majority of us is something which is complex. Now, it is no more. Science, it is becoming fashionable. It is something that everyone, on everyday basis, in every single industry, and in every single R&D, be it mechanical industry or a chemical industry, it is on the table of every single person discussion. And why so? Because actually in every single of the R&D department of the different industries is happening a phenomenon of blending. It is not a Scotch blending, but actually is the blending of all technologies and of all science. We know what is the philosophical distinction between natural science and social science, and if we think that those are applied different in different industries, we are wrong. The current phenomenon is everything is getting together in a solid blend, if you want, of interdisciplinary scientists that are discussing many types of innovation. So what do you think that it happens when a sociologist or an anthropologist speaks with a biologist on the subject, for example, on how to improve the sustainability of a product? For sure, the majority of us would think, well, we are going to do something around the recyclable or the life cycle of the product, because that is how we currently think when we think in terms of incremental innovation. But disruptive thinkers do not think the same. And the reality is that the sociologists and anthropologists helps biologists or bioengineers to think differently, because they do not think in terms of what is the problem, but what is the effect on the mind and the well-being of the society. And this is where the innovation are coming out. That is what we are doing, for example, with some of the research institutes, even here in the United States, where to the question on how to improve the sustainability of product, the answer of this pool of sociologists and bioengineers was actually to increase the durability of our goods, not to continue making materials that are more recyclable, but incrementing, or if any, making it last forever, the durability of the materials. On the left video, what you see, it is the very early research experiment that are run in order to discover whether it is possible that a metal, once it is scratched, can self-heal and therefore self-repair the molecular thread that is the molecular net of a metal. So what is this? It is nothing more than an excellent biomimicry. So we are assuming that as our body is capable of self-healing whenever we scratch our skin, the exact same phenomenon, it is repeatable, if you want, on different materials. And this is what it seems to be possible. But we are looking for more, because actually the next episode with this research lab, that for sure excites me a lot, it is based on the question, can a material can morph tomorrow? Because my dream is to buy a Fiat 500 and then having a software on the air update and finding into my garage a Ferrari, okay? So that is the whole point. Now, I'm joking, but imagine the extension of this discovery of self-healing material that could become one day even automorphing. In the central video, what you can see is more or less the same type of experiment, but on different material, because today the industry is not anymore just into metal and aluminum. We discovered back 20 years ago composite, and now composite are not even a complex material, are becoming the basic. So what are the next material is the real question. So the experiments are going throughout two different types of polymers. In the middle of the video you see an elastomer, so an elastic type of polymers that when cut in a specific and if you want a straightforward way, can again self-heal by reconstructing the molecular thread that goes from left to right. And the most difficult of all, it is the last video that you see on your right, because in that case, this polymer, which is a solid polymer actually, it is, if you want, has been created a hole and therefore a real lack of matter. So even in our body, if you create a hole, someone is shooting you, the healing capabilities of our body, it takes much, much, much longer than not a scratch, if you want, or a real cut. Why so? Because the matter is really separated and needs to have all a very complex biological if you want to process with the blood platelets in order to reconstruct entirely the lack of the matter at the center. And this is what they are experimenting, and for the time being, with a lot of success as well. So that is why science is fashionable, because it is no more just about moleculars and table of elements and complex alchemy that is discussed in chemistry laboratory everywhere in the world, but it is something that we can see immediate results and not centuries, if you want, of discovery, like in the Middle Age, if you want, when alchemy was the way of doing chemistry. So that is why the scientific discovery, it is on the table of every single R&D. Material science, it is no more a subject for few of the industries. It is a subject that is cross-industry, from transportation and mobility to consumer packaged goods. The third phenomenon, it is for sure that of manufacturing. Manufacturing as well, it is no more what we think is about manufacturing. In any of the industry that we work, for sure, we master either discrete manufacturing, fast or slow discrete, process continuous, additive manufacturing. It is not the point on which type of manufacturing are we adopting to produce our goods. It is the way that we are producing our goods that is getting changed. And it is not about the automation of the manufacturing line, because the automation happened at the beginning of the last century. That was the Industrial Revolution. So it is difficult to me to understand why so much of the buzz around the manufacturing 4.0, because the automation of the manufacturing line, it is something that already exists. Now, whether you connect better because you create a digital thread between one and the other machine, for sure, is incremental innovation to me. It is not a real innovation. So wherein lies the real innovation in manufacturing? I want to be provocative, and therefore I put it that manufacturing is becoming gaming, actually. We need to think in terms of having a console, a 3D master of all our manufacturing site and manufacturing asset, from the machinery to the entire type of data model that is instantiated through the process that we are following, in order to understand how is it the better scenario that we can apply in order to resolve what? The game of productivity, because that is what we do when we do manufacturing. It is true that we need, as industrial people, to analyze whether I want to have more modularity into manufacturing, the flexibility of the manufacturing, the swap of the platform, whether I do use the platform or not. But the real point is that manufacturing is a cost. And the reality is that if we want to afford this cost and actually have an ROI on the cost of manufacturing, the higher is the productivity at the minimal cost, and the best it is at the bottom line of the company. So what is here the suggestion? The suggestion is that, as we have proven with a subject like virtual city, the gaming type of approach, it is a winning approach, because what we are capable of doing with the 3D experience platform, it is actually not only to create the master model in terms of 3D, therefore very visual way of understanding the asset of manufacturing that we have, but we can actually operate like through a cockpit, like through a console, in order that digital workers, digital operators in the plant can actually play the game of productivity. So 3D experience manufacturing is the real phenomenon that we are championing today. And luckily, there are many of our clients that are listening to this innovative way of thinking of manufacturing, where through this cockpit, what-if scenario of productivity can be simulated before being run. That is the real point. And finally, I would say that it comes the marketing, and not because it's the final point, but it is because usually it is considered to be a final point. It is very easy for people that are not having a marketing background or a commercial background to think that in a product society, you first create the product with your R&D and then you ask your marketing to push it in the market. Wrong. This is not the way the marketing was invented for. Marketing is the entire management process from concept to go to market. And if this discipline doesn't exist into a company, there is a problem of value creation. And that is not me saying it, but it is very illustrious economists who can speak much better than me. So, but this is not the point. I'm not doing the flagship or the cheerleader of the marketing here. I wanted you to know that today marketing is becoming no more an option. Marketing is addictive in the sense that every single CEO is becoming the pusher of this drug that is called marketing. It is the key subject at the table of every single CEO in every single company. Why so? Because in the age of experience, products are no longer enough. In order to win the competitive game of the 21st centuries, our consumers, your customers, are waiting for experiences. And experiences cannot be designed by an engineer. It is required an engineer with a marketer, with a psychologist, with a commercial person, with a financial person. It is the entire discipline of marketing that gets into discussion, because it is the entire management process of the business. And the business is by essence multidisciplinary. So marketing, it is not just the last push to win market share. If we keep on thinking in this way, we are not going to get any market share into this experience economy. So I would like to conclude by saying that because of many of these phenomena and because of the business vision that we had back now 7 years ago, that the 3D experience platform was built not as an engineering platform. It is much bigger than an engineering platform. It is a business experience platform, because with this game of productivity, if you want, multidisciplinary, from manufacturers, from designers, from engineers, from marketers, from sales, and for sure to scientific R&D, a new type of platform are needed, where all these things can be combined. That is the result as well of the many acquisitions that we have done in the last 5 years in order to provide ourselves, I would say, with the incredible magic bricks that were needed in order to create out of this platform a unique environment where product development can happen, discovery can happen, manufacturing can happen, business management can happen, and even marketing. And when I'm talking about marketing, it is because in the video that I'm going to launch in a few seconds now, you will see how the platform it is used by a transportation and mobility company that in 2 minutes I'm repassing, if you want, in terms of what is the entire management process from the moment of the open innovation thinking to the moment of the corporate planning of what do I need to do, which volume, why, for which region, till the level of reusing the 3D model that my designer and my engineers have used, if you want, to create the car, in order to become a marketing asset in an automated and digital way, so that the same 3D model of design is becoming the 3D model used for the web configurator, for example, in my internet site, or as well the 3D model for my advertisement on TV. So why don't we launch the video?
In the age of experience, products are no longer enough. Businesses have to think about which experiences will become the new innovation stream for their companies. Experience thinking is a framework for innovation to capture insights and expertise from across a business's entire ecosystem. Imagine business leaders having at their fingertips a snapshot of the entire market, trends, needs, and opportunities in an intuitive and visual environment. In this example, corporate strategy can drill down into revenue and cost structure from company CRM and ERP data. Identify a product quality issue, then correlate with external market data to improve the design. After the business need is identified, R&D can create a new program where designers, mechanical and simulation engineers, and suppliers will collaborate in a unified environment to create the new product. Integrating manufacturing and operations with product design. Supply chain and manufacturing professionals can now plan, execute, and optimize their global industrial operations and extended supply chains, running optimal real-time business operations to produce and deliver innovations for the highest customer experience. In parallel, using the original 3D models created by design and engineering, marketing can reuse and prepare the assets to promote the new consumer experience, such as print advertising, social media, web configurator, and TV commercial. The 3D Experience Platform is a business experience platform that provides an innovative environment for companies looking to apply experience thinking, from engineering to manufacturing to marketing, to create differentiating consumer experiences.
I hope that my intervention of today has inspired some new business idea, hopefully. Thank you very much. That's it.